Hello friends, welcome to Literary Concepts. In my last videos, I presented you literary criticism and literary theories. So the fundamentals about these two concepts separately. So now I am bringing to you difference between literary criticism and literary theory in a brief manner. Now let us learn about the differences between literary theory and literary criticism. So in different aspects, okay, just like definition, focus, so we find there is a difference between literary criticism and literary theory. So as a part of definition, literary criticism is the practice of analyzing, interpreting and evaluating literary works. So literary criticism, what it does, so it analyzes, okay, so it's a careful study and interprets and then evaluate literary works. Understand? We give certain judgment about a particular literary text or literary work. But whereas in literary theory is a systematic study of principles. Understand? So it is a systematic study of principles, methods, and frameworks used to understand literature. So, literary theory, what is that we do? So, systematically we study. We study certain principles, thoughts, understand. So, certain thoughts and the different methods and different theories, frameworks means theories. We use them. By using these theories, we understand literature. So that is literary theory. Then literary criticism focuses on individual text. So literary criticism focuses on one particular literary work. Understand? So by focusing on them, so what they mean, how well they are written. So what kind of meaning we find in that particular text and how well that particular writer has written a particular work or text. So, here in literary criticism, we focus on literary texts. So, whereas in literary theory, we focus on the ideas behind interpretation. So, we use ideas, thoughts, understand. So, different theories we use to interpret a literary work, understand, to understand the things why and how we interpret literature. So we interpret a particular literature from a different okay, idea point of view, or a theory point of view, understand. We So that is where we describe or we interpret a particular text or a work from one theory point of view, one idea point of view, understand. So in literary theory, the next one is so literary criticism deals with the practical application of ideas to to specific text, understand. So here we use the practical application of ideas. We use ideas to particular texts. But in literary theory, so it offers abstract frameworks, okay. So we find a particular concept or philosophical ideas to guide interpretation. To interpret a particular literary work, we use abstract ideas or concepts or philosophical ideas. Then next, the approach of literary criticism is descriptive and evaluative. Understand? So we describe it and we evaluate it. So that is judging the merits and demerits of a particular text, or bringing out describing the meaning of a particular work. So this is what happens in literary criticism. But in literary theory, it is conceptual and analytical. So we use a particular concept, we use a particular idea or a thought, and then we analyze it. So logical in a rational manner, rationally. Okay, so we study carefully in literary. Okay, by using we study careful of a particular work by using a concept or idea. That is what happens. So that is the method or approach of the literary theory. So where that it questions what literature is and how it functions. So in literary theory, the approach is conceptual, and that concept is questioning about what literature is. Okay, what literature is and how it functions, how it works. Understand how it. Okay, the purpose of the literature. Examples of examples of use of literary criticism. So writing a review of a novel, writing a review of a novel or a close reading of a poem is example of the method of literary criticism. Understand? And literary theory using Marxist theory, a feminist theory, or post-colonial theory to analyze literary works or literary texts. So we use these theories to analyze and understand a particular work. Then the literary criticism tradition understand the time frame. So criticism is older tradition. Understand, it is ancient tradition. So throw back to going back to Aristotle and Longinus. So it starts from the Greek and Roman criticism onwards. So whereas literary theory is a more recent one. So particularly developed in the 20th century with structuralism and post-structuralism, etc. Such theories. Understand? So literary theory developed more recently, and that to be developed in the 20th century. So because of structuralism and post-structuralism and other literary theories, which we the development of other literary theories we find in the 20th century, more recent one. Example of literary critics. So we find Samuel Johnson, Matthew Arnold, T.S. Eliot. They are the some of the examples. Okay, some of the literary critics. Understand, and literary theorists: Jacques Derrida, Michael Foucault, Homi Bhabha, Gayatri Spivak. They are the theorists. Understand, they are the writers related to literary theories. And what is the goal of literary criticism? So the goal is to understand and evaluate what a text says and how. So literary criticism's goal is to understanding the meaning of the particular text, and then evaluating, that is giving, passing the judgment of a particular text. Okay, what that text says and how it is said. Understand? So the goal of the literary theory is to explore how we understand texts. So how the reader understands a text and why we interpret them in certain ways. Okay, in a particular manner. So that is the goal of literary theory. So I hope that you understand the difference of the literary criticism and the literary theory. So if you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.